Matthew "Matt Kitschy" Heafy is a Japanese-American musician, best known as the guitarist and lead vocalist for the American heavy metal band Trivium. Heafy is also the lead vocalist for the band Kafora Norm, along with Trivium's former producer Jason Suecof. Biography: Heafy was born in Iwakuni, Japan, and lived there for 1 year. His family then moved to Orlando, Florida, where he currently resides. Heafy learned to play the saxophone in years leading up to becoming more serious on guitar at the age of 12. Heafy attended Lake Brantley High School. He completed his senior year while also touring in Europe, and graduated in 2004. He currently plays a custom Gibson 7-string guitar. He used 6-string guitars for Trivium's first 2 albums, utilizing standard tuning and drop D tuning on Ember to Inferno, and solely drop D tuning on Ascendancy. On Trivium's third record, The Crusade, he returned to standard tuning and performed some songs on 7-string guitars. On Shogun, Heafy used 7-string guitars almost exclusively, with only 2 songs using a 6-string. For Trivium's 5th studio album In Waves, Heafy returned to using solely 6-string guitars and used drop C tuning similar to the drop D as seen on Ascendancy. For Vengeance Falls, Trivium's 6th effort, Heafy continued to solely use 6-string guitars tuned to drop C. However, for the recording of Trivium's 7th studio album Silence in the Snow, Heafy used both 6 and 7-string guitars, tuned to drop C, B-flat standard and drop A-flat. Heafy does not know formal music theory, and was almost completely self-taught. However, he does know how to read sheet music, but can only apply it on the saxophone and banjo. Self-taught for quite a bit of it, did lessons on and off for maybe 2 or 3 years, but I do not know anything formal music on guitar. I do on saxophone though for Euro, but that do isna Euro unregistered trademark T helped me on guitar. On January 10, 2010, Heafy married Ashley Howard in Orlando, Florida. The wedding was attended by close friends and family. Matt still often uses the same first Gibson Les Paul he got from his father, in both a live and studio setting. Trivium Matt Heafy unofficially joined Trivium at the age of 12, but became the official frontman after Brad Luther, the previous vocalist of Trivium, quit the band shortly after Heafy joined. Heafy assumed responsibility for vocals and the majority of the songwriting. Matt's debut with Trivium included his compositions of Fugue, Demon, Requiem, Sworn, and The Storm. He has also composed the songs and lyrics for Ember to Inferno and Ascendancy. With the release of Trivium's 4th album, Shogun, Heafy greatly expanded his vocal range. From very melodic singing to hardcore screams. In 2011, Trivium's 5th studio album In Waves was released with a greater emphasis on songs rather than skill, with the album featuring the full range of Heafy's vocal talents, with some songs being entirely composed of screaming and others with no screaming at all, and many songs that fuse the two as with previous records. In Trivium, Matt shares lead guitar duties with Corey Bewley, although he is responsible for recording the rhythm tracks on the albums. After Ember to Inferno, Trivium experimented with post-hardcore music, releasing one song titled Head-On Collision with a rose bush catching fire under the name Tomorrow is Monday. As revealed in a 2008 interview in Rock Sound, they wrote, recorded and edited the song in 1 hour while intoxicated. Roadrunner United In 2005, Roadrunner Records released Roadrunner United, the all-star sessions to celebrate the label's 25th birthday. 4 team captains were chosen, Joey Jordison, Robert Flynn, and Dino Cazares, as well as Heafy. Heafy also wrote the lyrics and sang the lead vocals to The End, captained by Dino Cazares. He and bandmate guitarist Corey Bewley recorded the song In the Fire as well, featuring singer King Diamond, bassist Mike D'Antonio, and drummer Dave Chiavari. He also wrote and played guitar on the tracks Dawn of a Golden Age, I Don't Wanna Be, and Blood and Flames, also contributing vocals to the latter. Other appearances Heafy won the Metal Hammer Golden God Award in 2006. Also in 2006, he handled vocals for the band Korn, one of his favorite bands, at the Download Festival when Korn's lead vocalist Jonathan Davis fell ill. Hefe Euro along with several other metal artists Euro makes guest appearances in the music videos for Aesthetics of Hate by Machine Head, released March 27, 2007 and All I Want by A Day to Remember, released January 7, 2011. In 2015 Hefe contributed to the metal supergroup album Metal Allegiance. He provided lead vocals and additional guitars on the track Destination, Nowhere. He also contributed on guitar for the track Triangular My Creation 2. Evolution 3. Destruction. Musical influences Matt Heafy cites musicians James Hetfield, John Petrucci, Inge Malmsteen, and Izan as his primary influences. His style was mostly influenced by bands such as Metallica, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Slayer, Pantera, Korn, Dream Theater, Death, Bertram, Down, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Poison the Well, and later on In Flames, Children of Bodom, Arch Enemy, Dark Tranquillity, Opeth, Dimmu Borgir, Fozzy, Dark Funeral, Emperor and Anorexia Nervosa. Equipment. Guitars Matt Heafy has been endorsed by Gibson since summer 2009, but before he was endorsed by Dean after he and Corey Bewley were both given Dean Razorback prototypes in 2006. In summer 2009 Gibson made him a custom 7-string Explorer, which is now a production model but only available in black right-handed models. In 2013, Epiphone released his artist signature model Les Paul in both 6- and 7-string versions. He had previously been seen playing his signature models on the Dream Theater A Dramatic Turn of Events tour. Les Paul Black 6-string and 7-string, Les Paul in black, white and silverburst, Explorer 7-string in white and black. Hummingbird acoustic when needed. Dean Razorback. Pickups EMG 81/85 with chrome and gold covers. 81-7/707 with standard black covers. Amplifiers Studio, Marshall Amplification JVM 410H heads, all PAV 5150 block letters with Mesa cabinets. Live, Kemper Profiler multi-effects unit with distortion patches based off the EVH 5153 direct to the PA system. Accessories Dunlop Jazz 3 Max Grip Picks, Dunlop .10-.52 strings, Dunlop straps. Talboard B-Ringer FCB 1010 MIDI foot controller connected to the Kemper. Discography, Trivium. Trivium EP, Ember to Inferno, Ascendancy, The Crusade, Shogun, In Waves, Vengeance Falls, Silence in the Snow, Kafora Norm, Fractured, Mind Scar EP, Tomorrow is Monday, Lush Like an Ant Pile, Head-on Collision with a Rose Bush Catching Fire, Other, Roadrunner United, Master of Puppets, Remastered, Machine Head Aesthetics of Hate, Made in Heaven, A Tribute to Iron Maiden, A Day to Remember All I Want, Caliban Falling Downwards, Dragon Force guest vocals on Defenders, No More, and The Game, Upon a Burning Body guest vocals on Blood, Sweat and Tears, Asking Alexandria Moving On, Beach House additional guitar on Depression Cherry album, Metal Allegiance lead vocals and additional guitar on Destination, Nowhere, additional guitars on Triangular My Creation 2. Evolution 3. Destruction. References. External links, Trivium's official website, Heafy's blog,